James Earl Jones may have left us, but his iconic film roles aren't going anywhere. Whether you're just discovering his work or ready for a rewatch, we're counting down his 6 best films that prove why he'll always be a legend. An underrated gem in the Western drama genre, Matewan takes us into the heart of a violent labor struggle in a West Virginia mining town, and James Earl Jones is absolute powerhouse here. As a coal miner caught between courage and fear, he delivers a performance that's both gritty and deeply human. He's intimidating when he needs to be, but also vulnerable, balancing those emotions like only Jones could. This film may not be as well known as it should be, but in West Virginia, it's still a classic. Jones was nothing short of perfect here. James Earl Jones delivered one of the most iconic monologues in cinema with his "People Will Come" speech in Field of Dreams. Even if you don't care about baseball, that scene will give you chills. Funny thing though, James Earl Jones wasn't even a fan of the sport, but his wife read the script and got hooked on that speech. They even joked about the fear it might get cut. Luckily for all of us, it didn't. And Jones was so convincing as Terrence Mann that people actually believed he was a real author. James Earl Jones may only show up at the end of Sneakers, but when he does, he steals the scene like only he can. Playing the annoyed FBI agent, he's forced to give the protagonist everything they want, and the frustration in his voice is perfect. His line, "What's important is that this never happened," is a callback to his similarly cool and collected moment in The Hunt for Red October. It might feel like a cameo, but it's the kind of role that only James Earl Jones could turn into something unforgettable. That final scene is the perfect wrap-up to the film, and realistically, would anyone else have made it work so flawlessly? Not a chance. The Great White Hope put James Earl Jones front and center as a black champion boxer fighting not just in the ring, but against a racist system hell-bent on knocking him down. The movie is based on the real-life story of Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, and it's a powerful one. Red Fox actually turned down a role in the film because he didn't think it did justice to his old friend Jack. But James Earl Jones took this role to new heights, winning a Tony for the stage production and snagging his one and only Oscar nomination for the film. It's a gritty, emotional performance, and it's one of the best of his career. James Earl Jones as Thulsa Doom in Conan the Barbarian is a whole different vibe from the literary version. He plays the villain with a quiet, unsettling charisma that critics couldn't ignore, even comparing his performance to real-life cult leader Jim Jones, whose hold on his followers was such that hundreds of them obeyed his orders to take their own life. What's wild is that Jones was a last-minute addition to the cast because he was busy with Broadway at the time. But on set, he and Arnold Schwarzenegger hit it off. Arnie helped him stay in shape, and Jones gave acting tips in return. Funny thing is, James Earl Jones almost didn't take this role. He was eyeing a part in Grendel but lost interest. Once he got his hands on the Conan script, though, he knew Thulsa Doom was the role to take. And honestly, can you imagine anyone else pulling it off like he did? Didn't think so.
Dr. Ryan.
James Earl Jones as Admiral Greer in The Hunt for Red October might not have had the biggest role, but man, did he leave a lasting impression. His presence was undeniable, and he brought a level of gravitas that was perfect for the part. Considering that at the time there was only one African-American Rear Admiral in the entire U.S. Navy, casting Jones was a statement in itself. This might be my favorite non-voiceover role of his, because even in a supporting part, he still manages to command the screen.